Okay, it's Bank Holiday Monday, and we've got a game lined up, 2,500 points. Size Demon Army, same list as last week, I think, versus my Empire. So it was my birthday this week, and my lovely girlfriend bought me a Griffin model, so I thought I'd make the most of it and play my Empire with it. So I've got him as the general. It's battle line mission, like I say, 2,500 points, and Sai, I got the +1, so we're going to roll for that in a minute. So we have my Empire General on a Griffin, a cannon in the tower, a steam tank, 38 greatswords with the BSB and a warrior priest. We have another cannon, 5 archers as a detachment, 50 halberdiers. We have a level 4 of light. Celestial Hurricanum, and then 10 Inner Circle Knights. And that's it. So I'll hand you over to Si, see what he's got in his army.
Okay, my list is unchanged from last week. Basically I've got 3 Blood Crushers out on my left flank. I've got Beast of Nurgle, I've got a unit of 30 Slanesh Demonettes led by Herald. Then I've got a Skull Cannon of Khorne. I've got a Keeper of Secrets hidden behind the Old Faithful, Barn of Destiny. He's taken up his old mate's spot. Then I've got another Skull Cannon of Khorne. I've got another Beast of Nurgle here in the centre. Then I've got a unit of 30 Khorne Bloodletters led by a Khorne Herald. And then over here on my right flank I've got a unit of Seekers. And that is basically my army. So Ollie gets the +1. And he goes first. He rolls a 6. So we'll see you at the end of Empire turn 1.
Okay, it's the end of Empire turn 1. Okay, my general moved up just to block the Seekers from a first turn shot or second turn charge against the cannon. Although thinking about it, they couldn't anyway because they're vanguarded, but never mind. So he's probably going to eat a cannonball now. The steam tank trundled up, generating 5 steam points. These guys just shuffled up. Hurricane moved to the side just to increase its range so it can cover both these units. Halberdiers moved up, Knights stayed where they were. Magic phase, I managed to roll a double 1, which was nice. Although it kind of benefited me in a way because I only got 1 dice and I got an extra one from the Hurricanum, so I managed to cast a banishment onto the Demonettes and got quite lucky with it. I rolled 666, so I managed to kill 9 of them, I think. So, which is particularly devastating against demons, obviously, because it makes them reroll ward saves and gives you that extra dice. So that was pretty nice. Unfortunately, it was the only spell I got off, but I can kind of live with that. Then in the shooting phase, the steam tank and both my cannons fired at his cannon. Managed to plink 2 wounds off of it, unfortunately. Reason I didn't kill it, I think, is because one of them actually blew up. So that's nice. Size luck's obviously spread to me now. It's that dodgy gunpowder he sold me, I reckon. So I'm a cannon down already, and his cannon's just lost 2 wounds, so it's not really a big deal. So he's going to get a couple of juicy cannon shots at my targets here. But yeah, so that was it for shooting. These guys fired at the beast, but they didn't actually get any hits. Just speculative shooting, really. And that was it. So it's the end of my turn 1.
Okay, end of Demons turn 1. Everyone just moved up, skiddling around to here. Then in the magic phase, I rolled 6. Thankfully I had no Zinch units, or Papa Nurgle would have tried to fry them. And I managed to get Occam's Mind Razor off. I rolled really high, got it off on the Demonettes. And that was pretty much it. Then I managed to just about dispel my miasma of my Melkor Smith defying miasma. I think of miasma and pestilence, which is something else. Then in the shooting phase, this cannon put 3 wounds on the steam tank, and then here I just missed the Hurricanum. So, but I did manage to kill one of the archer detachment. So yeah, that was pretty much it. Pretty short turn. We'll see you at the end of Empire Turn 2.
Okay, it's the end of Empire Turn 2. Now, let's see. The general moved up to threaten the cannon. These guys just moved up a bit. The steam tank went into the bloodletters. These guys moved up to get in the face of the Beast of Nurgle. These guys moved back a bit. The wizard bailed out. And these guys did a swift reform and got away from those nasty old blood crushers. So that was it for movement. Then in the magic phase, rolled 5 dice. So I got 3, I got 2. I got channel and also one from the Hurricanum, so I had 7. So I managed to cast Fire's Protection on my Griffin, as the general has the Ring of Vorlins, and consequently got Fire's Protection for himself, which is really handy because that's what I was planning to use to keep him alive. So he got that off. Then I managed to cast the Net of Amantok on these guys, and then I attempted to cast Banishment, and so I dispelled it. Sorry, no, I didn't. I failed to cast it. Then I was going to cast Shem's Burning Gaze with the last dice, but unfortunately because I failed, I couldn't. So I just used it to cast the spell with these, and he failed it as well. It was just to get the 5-up ward save. So Sai ended up not using any of his dispel dice, which I thought was quite amusing. He didn't. Then in the shooting phase, cannon misfired, couldn't shoot this turn, so that's had no effect on the game really. Well, the cannons had no effect on the game. Not shooting that cannon is going to have a massive effect on the game. And these guys just shot the beast, just something to do, and that was it really. So then in close combat, the steam tank managed to kill 7. Well, killed 6 bloodletters, and then the steam tank commander killed another one. Sai miraculously rolled this nasty little breath weapon gift, which ignores armour saves. Although he only rolled 4, he did actually manage to get 2 6s and do 2 wounds to the tank. And then he also managed to get another wound through from the bloodletters themselves. I won the combat, but because he's steadfast 7, he actually managed to roll a 7, so he's alright. So that's it. So that's the end of Empire Turn 2.
Okay, it's the end of Empire Turn 2, and basically everyone else sort of carried on moving up. I attempted to charge with these guys, but got screwed over by the nets. The Beast of Nurgle charged into the Archer detachment unit. The Seekers charged into the cannon over there in the corner. And my 2 cannons moved up to shoot at his general on a Griffin. Unfortunately, magic phase was a bit crap. I rolled another 6. Didn't really get anything. Well, in fact, I got nothing off. Ollie dispelled the Withering on the tank, and then I failed to cast Miasma on the Great Swords. Then the shooting phase was equally as useless. I misfired with 1 cannon and blew it up, and then this cannon, because of fire protection, just couldn't shoot. So yes, a bit annoying, as my attack has really blunted and petered out, thanks to some rather nice casting that I managed to get off last turn. So like I said, didn't end up using any of my dispel dice, which in kind of retrospect really hurt. I should have just dispelled that net. So now the net is getting dispelled every time if I can. So yeah, it's a bit harsh. I learned that lesson now, but yeah. So pretty much, I managed to put another in the close combat phase. I managed to put another couple of wounds on the steam tank. So that is going down. It's got like Sorry, I put 1 wound on it. I did manage to get 3 with the Herald, but unfortunately Ollie made all these 3-up saves, which is unheard of for him, because that thing should be dead as a doornail usually. Yeah, and then the Seekers slaughtered the cannon, and the Beast of Nurgle slaughtered the archers, and is making his way up to that wizard. So yeah, it's going reasonably well. In that respect. But yeah, like I say, a bit gutted that my march has been blunted. That steam tank has been really annoying. I think rolling very low for the number of breath weapon attacks, that always seems to happen. Like, I never roll very well for breath weapon.
I mean, averages, even if you roll max, you still would have got 2 wounds. So.
Yeah, that's very true. I did kind of get lucky in that respect. So yeah, I've got to think of it that way. Yeah. So yeah, unfortunately, I've lost the cannon. Yeah, it's a bit nasty. So yeah, I've got to think of what I can do, because that bloody general has been quite annoying. That's the trouble with Empire is that there's so much target saturation that you just don't know what to shoot at. If I'd known these cannons were going to be that bad this turn, then yeah, obviously I would have directed everything I had against the general earlier on. But yeah, you never know that kind of stuff. So that's always the trouble. So yeah, that is the end of my turn 2. So yeah, we shall we'll see at the end of Empire turn 3.
Okay, it's the end of Empire turn 3. The Knights attempted to swift reform but failed, so they just reformed like that, just to kind of stop him from charging the front. The Halberdiers charged into Beast of Nurgle. Wizard moved round to avoid this beast. Hurricane moved round just to get within 6 of these guys. Great Swords moved round, hoping the steam tank would hold. Steam tank says it is. And the General charged into that cannon of corn. I managed to generate 3 steam points on the tank without any mishaps, which was nice, considering it's only got, at the time it only had 3 wounds left. Okay, so that was it for movement. Then in the magic phase, I managed to get off Speed of Light on the Halberdiers. I managed to get off Shem's Burning Gaze on the Beast of Nurgle, doing 2 wounds to it. And then Side dispelled Banishment on the Blood Crushers. Then there was no shooting phase because I haven't got anything that can shoot. And then in close combat, my general managed to kill his cannon. His cannon failed to wound me, which was really nice. The steam tank killed a couple of bloodletters, then Side did a wound to it in return with his herald. And then in this close combat, epic fail. Although I was hitting on 2s, wounding on 5s, I only managed to do 2 wounds to the beast. Then it failed its instability by 1 and took another wound. It still consequently managed to hold me up, which is quite annoying. But oh well. So even though I only got 3 attacks, which wasn't enough to beat my static combat res, and I did 2 wounds to it, it still managed to hold. So that was a bit annoying because he only rolled 3 on the break test. So that was it. So that was the end of Empire turn 3.
Right, it's the end of Daemons turn 3, and some interesting stuff happened. Basically, I marched my Blood Crushers all the way around. Got them there, which in retrospect was a stupid idea, but I'll get to that in a minute. The Seekers just advanced up behind the Great Swords. Magic phase was pretty epic. I rolled a double 6, and then got a unit of 14 Demonettes, which you can see over there, which is pretty sweet. I then followed that by casting the Withering on the steam tank. which, oh no, sorry, I didn't. I got Pit of Shades on that unit there, and rolled very, very high. I got like 25 on 4 dice without miscasting. So Ollie was forced to scroll it. I then cast the Withering on the Steam Tank. Ollie failed to dispel, and then
I chose
oh, sorry, you let that one through. And then I cast Occam's on this unit and got like massively high. And then you tried to dispel that and failed. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, really, really good magic phase. But yeah, but basically in close combat, I tore up the Steam Tank, reformed to face his general. Although, unfortunately, the reason why I was a bit silly over here was because obviously having lost the having my little Beast of Nurgle die, in retrospect I should have charged these guys in to hold them up, which I didn't really realise until really the end of the turn. So yeah, unfortunately, as you can see, it ain't pretty. Even though they've got Occam's on, that's an awful lot of attack. So yeah, that was pretty bad. So yeah, I'll have to see how it goes. So yeah, it was now on to Empire, turn 4.
Okay, it's the end of Empire turn 4. The Great Swords reformed. The Wizard moved up here. The Hurricaneer moved up. These guys charged on the flank of the Demonettes. These guys attempted to swift reform but failed, so they just reformed like that. Hence the awkward angle. And my general flew behind his general just to give him something to do, threaten him, keep him honest. So unless he gets shifting, that Griffin's going to go into him and hopefully carve him up. So the magic phase, managed to get 9 dice. Got 1 channel, 1 from the Hurricaneum. So Cy had a few to dispel with, which was really nice because I managed to get off Speed of Light on these guys. I managed to get off a Banishment on the Bloodletters. I managed to get a beefed up Shem's Burning Gaze on his general, which I managed to roll 9 for. He used his Dark Blessing to get rid of 1. I managed to get like 6 wounds on him, and he passed 5 ward saves. So and he managed to do 1 wound to him, even though it was strength 6. The Banishment, I rolled 15, and actually managed to kill, I think it was like 9 Bloodletters, which was pretty sweet. I don't think I cast anything else, did I? I think that was it. And then in the close combat phase, there was no shooting. These guys managed to kill 4 Demonettes. Demonettes in return killed 4. But I managed to win through the static combat res, and so I rolled a double 6 and actually popped. So we kind of knew the unit was going to take a beating anyway, but to actually pop like that was pretty nasty. So yeah, so I won that combat, and that was the only close combat. So that's the end of Empire turn 4.
Yeah, things are going badly for Daemons now. Just had to reform there, move some guys about. Very little, moved him around. Although this is pretty much just going to be the course of then we're never going to get into close combat. Yeah, so that was pretty much it. The magic phase was a write-off. I rolled 7 plus a channel. Then failed to cast Pit of Shades. I should have miasmed him first, but wasn't paying much attention at this point. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing else to go. So yeah, this is it. It's pretty much just for Ollie to mop this unit up, and I think that gives him the win. So yeah, we'll see if we can do that next turn.
Okay, it's the end of Empire turn 5. Charge-wise, I declared a charge with these guys, the Hurricaneum and the General. Obviously these guys didn't get in. Probably a bit tired from beating down those Demonettes and listening to their problems. Then of course the General and the Hurricaneum did make it. These guys reformed. These guys stayed as they are, just threaten these guys should they charge the rear. And that was pretty much it. Then the magic phase, managed to get I think 9 dice. Managed to cast Net of Amontok on these guys. I managed to cast Shem's Burning Gaze on the Beast of Nurgle, killing it. And so I dispelled Speed of Light on the General, and also using the Ring of Warlins, I attempted to cast Fars Protection, which also dispelled. So that was it for that. There's no shooting phase, and then in close combat, the Hurricane did 1 impact hit. Then I issued a challenge from the General. His Herald went first and failed to wound. Well, he wounded me twice, but I passed my armour saves. Then I attacked back with my General's attacks, and he actually managed to kill the Herald with his 3 lance attacks. So that was excellent. So I actually got combat res of 5. He only got combat res of 4 after doing 2 wounds to the Hurricane. So I won by 1, and he failed his test by 4. So he lost 4 more guys. So that was it. So that's the end of Empire Turn 5. Not looking so good for the Chaos now, but we'll have to see what Sai can do this Turn 5.
Okay, it's the end of Daemons Turn 4. What I thought was going to be a horrendous defeat is still turning out to be quite a hilarious game. For shits and giggles, I charged my General into the rear of Ollie's General. I tried to charge the Demonettes in, however I couldn't pass my roll, and they took a few wounds. I reformed these guys. Then I had my magic phase, and yeah, I rolled another double 6. So I decided to take a unit of Plague Bearers over there. So yeah, it was that was fairly good. Then with all the dice, first thing I got quite a massive withering off on the General, which Ollie was forced to dispel. He put all these dice in it. I then got a miasma off on the General, lowering him and the Griffin's weapon skill by 2. I then got Ocken's Mind Razor off on my General, and basically then went and hacked him up in the magic phase. The noise you can hear there is Ollie being comforted at the loss of his General. So yeah, that was it. I then ripped to pieces his General, put a couple of wounds on the Hurricanum, and yeah, they scarpered. I failed to catch them, so I am unfortunately getting charged. It's not going to end particularly well. But yeah, that was about as good as it was going to get. So yeah, it's been pretty interesting. I still don't think I've got any chance of winning, but hell, it'll be good fun smashing things up. Anyway, so yeah, it's now time for Empire Turn 5.
Okay, it's the end of Empire Turn 6. Got really aggressive now, trying to mop up some of his stuff. Although I say mop up, I'm actually struggling to win at that point. So charging the Knights into his Plague Bearers. Charged the Great Swords into his Seekers. And I charged the Halberdiers into the Bloodletters. The magic phase, I cast a beefed up version of Shem's Burning Gaze. Got an irresistible force. Although I got 10 strength 6 hits against his Great Demon, only 3 of them wounded, and then he passed his...
No, I failed all of them.
He failed all his saves, so he took 3 wounds, so he's got 1 left. Unfortunately, the miscast, naturally I got sucked into the void. So that was annoying. Then in close combat, these guys mopped up the Seekers, utterly destroyed them, although he took 3 in return. These guys killed all the Plague Bearers exactly to the man after they failed their leadership test. And these guys couldn't kill 5 Bloodletters. In fact, they only killed 1 Bloodletter, and then he passed his test because he only lost by 1. So he lost another one to that. So there's 3 left, and they're holding up 41 Halberdiers. This is pretty bad. So that's the end of my turn 6. So it's the final turn coming up with Sai's turn 6. So see what he can do now.
Okay, I had to try and go for a win, or at least a draw. So I moved my general around, and then what did I do? Yeah, charged in guys over there. The 3 unit of Demonettes I had. That was about it. Then Magic Phase, I rolled 11 Demonic Possession, but there was no wizards, so that just didn't count. Then what was it? Yeah, I tried to miasma Pit of Shades it, but Ollie dispelled, so that was basically the end of it, and I had no chance for draw. So yeah, the combat obviously just about won there, and then yeah, he just wiped out the rest of it. He killed, what was it, 2 guys, left 1, failed my leadership, off it went. Then over there, yeah, just enough attacks. Basically I needed to kill his warrior priest, and there wasn't enough. I just didn't have the resources to do it at the end of the game. So that was kind of the end of that. So yeah, it kind of petered out there. Unfortunately, I lost that. But yeah, wasn't tabled. Still had my blood crushers and my general on 1 wound left. But yeah, it wasn't particularly good. So we will talk about about how the game went. So I'll hand you over to Ollie.
Well, as I said, Empire victory, pretty good victory as far as I'm concerned. Probably one of the most fun games I've had in a long time, actually. I really enjoyed that. Never quite knew where it was going. I really enjoyed the army. I think it's quite an elegant army, particularly like the Law of Light, as I was saying to Si. And it was initially looking at it because of the plus D6 to wounding demon stuff, but it actually turned out that a lot of the other spells are just really good synergy with the army, and the extra D6 against demons just was a benefit. Although it really did benefit me in this game because I kept rolling ridiculously high for any direct damage I rolled. I think I rolled pretty much the max most of the time, although wounding was another matter. But yeah, the Law of Light really brings synergy to this army. It's I particularly like Light of Battle when fighting Demonettes because it goes from a 3-up rerollable against me to a 4-up without the reroll, and also means I get hit him on 2s, which is excellent. So I really like that. Fire's Protection, really good to keep Griffin alive from those cannons. Saved me from 1 cannon shot this game, so that paid for itself. One of the tactics I did have was with the level 4 of light. I actually took the Ring of Warlands on the general, just to kind of catch any spells I miss with the level 4. So in this case it definitely paid off because I rolled 4 spells, didn't get Fire's Protection, but because of the Ring of Warlands I chose Law of Light, and because I already had some spells I got to choose and actually got it. So he cast it for himself. It's quite a low casting cost. The one time he did get it off, it paid off because the cannon actually failed to hit him because of it. So I think that's a really nifty little combo, and it's pretty much essential when running like a Griffin or something, I think. Just giving him that bit of survivability. So really happy that I've done that. And all the other spells like Banishment and Shem's Burning Gaze, just really useful magic missiles. Obviously better against demons than anything, or undead. So they're pretty handy. But yeah, I really like Law of Light, and I think this list works really well with it. Overall, I thought the game was really good. The Griffin did a good job of wiping out that cannon. In retrospect, I probably should have just danced with his general rather than actually charging into those bloodletters. But you've got to do these things just to try things out. And unfortunately, when a Greater Demon charges you in the back, then casts the entire Law of Shadow on you to debuff you, and then Occam's Mind Razor on himself, you should count yourself lucky that you're still alive. So yeah, I'm pretty happy that my Griffin's actually hung in there. So certainly not a good matchup. Probably the definition of a bad matchup, actually. I think it went pretty well. I really like the 2 blocks of infantry. I think they're pretty solid. Knights didn't really do a lot. I think without the warrior priest, who I just couldn't afford, I don't know. I don't really have much confidence in them. I was happy to send them into the Demonettes at the start of the game. I certainly don't want to mess with these blood crushers with them. But then they're so cheap. They're just kind of like I could throw them away if I absolutely had to. Because I need 270 points. The Great Swords are excellent. They didn't really get involved in much combat, but they're super reliable. I love the rerolls to hit and the +1 from the Hurricanum. Potentially rerolls to wound as well. Having leadership 9 because they've got standard discipline and hold the line means they're not going anywhere. So they're excellent. Like I said, I didn't really get to test them this game, but I plan on using this list a couple of times more just to make the most of it. Halberdiers is great. They killed all those Demonettes after a nice flank charge, and then finally killed those Bloodletters. So they're just really good. Then they're so cheap that I'll definitely take those again. General was really good. Like I say, I'm just glad he survived. Killing that cannon was nice, and wow, it's just a really nice model. So I was going to take that. The Hurricanum was brilliant. Even got involved in combat and managed to survive it. So, but the +1 power dice was pretty handy to almost every magic phase, and the +1 to hit certainly helped against those Demonettes. Cannons, probably the dummies of the match. One blew up on the first turn, and the other one got a couple of shots off and then died. I don't actually think any of them did anything. Steam Tank did a heroic job holding off those Bloodletters, which is the matchup I wanted with him, really. He absolutely kicks Bloodletter's arse, really, if he gets the charge on them. So he did a really good job. Si's cheeky little breath weapon really messed him up with those 2 extra wounds that I wasn't expecting. So that's quite horrible. So kudos to random breath weapons. Although he did only actually roll 4 hits, he still managed to get those 2 wounds, which was really nasty. So yeah, the Steam Tank did a good job. I think really the man of the match for me though was my Light Wizard. He was absolutely kicking everyone's ass, casting loads of spells. I love the low casting costs on light spells as well, so I was getting off like 2 or 3 spells a turn. So, and all of them are super useful. So yeah, my general, well, it wasn't my general, my Light Wizard was man of the match for me. Even though he did blow himself up, but he nearly took out a Greater Demon, something that a Goblin Shaman can achieve. But yeah, so it's worth a punt just to take out his general. And the range of the light spells as well was really handy. Certainly kept that Greater Demon Slanesh honest, because he was hiding behind that barn for most of the game, which I don't blame him. So yeah, overall, really happy with the game. Certainly happy with not having to fight these blood crushers. Don't mind dancing around all day and to not have to fight those. And I thought the battle line was pretty solid with these 2 blocks and the Hurricanum sort of holding them together. Yeah, so really good game. I really did enjoy that. So I'm going to hand you over to Si, see what he has to say about the game.
Yeah, that game was excellent fun. It went pretty well for a time. At least I thought I had a chance of getting there. But unfortunately, I think the big turning point was in the second turn. Ollie getting off that net of Amintok. I think in retrospect that probably won him the game. I was an idiot not to dispel it. I should have got rid of it, but I didn't, and I paid the price because the matchup I wanted was Demonettes versus this unit here. I would have blended them nicely, spanked them, and then overran into the Knights. I had that would have been lovely because Occam's Mind Razor on that lot, strength 8, no armor save. It would have been beautiful. But yeah, that net of Amintok was excellent. I did initially think that he'd just taken light simply because he was fighting demons, but sort of as we kind of got into it, just sort of realised that yeah, the light, excellent lore, and really kind of one that seems to be underused, I think. Yeah, so it really impressed me with what it did. So yeah, it was it was a bit shitty losing, but it was a great game. It was good fun. I'll say at the times when we didn't know what was happening. I think the magic phase has sort of got the better of me this time. I think like last game against the Orcs, the magic phases worked in my favour, and I sort of really was able to run the train on Ollie, and then likewise he got the best of his magic phases and managed to make it count here. And I really think that sort of Daemons they need. I think they need something like Occam's Mind Razor to make something like Demonettes any good, because they get a lot of attacks, but without the ability to wound or get through armour very well. I know they've got like armour piercing, but it's -1 ain't particularly great. So yeah, it's just it's a bit of a trouble to peg my entire kind of tactics on getting a spell off, because obviously fighting stuff like orcs and goblins, and fighting Empire, where there's going to be lots of dispel scrolls kicking about, one dispel scroll kicking about. It's not going to be the easiest of times. So yeah, a little bit disappointed. I think man of the match probably my general, as he kind of made the best of a bad situation and gave all his general a damn good curb stomping. Sent that griffin packing with his finger appropriately poking the griffin where the sun doesn't shine. So yeah, in the end, like I say, I think I got done out by one spell. I didn't particularly know the Law of Light very well before this game, so I let it slide without thinking of the ramifications. There are also a few things I should have done as well. I lost the Demonettes to a pretty stupid manoeuvre. I should have charged the Blood Crushers into these guys. I would have messed them up, probably slowed them down for quite a few turns. I probably could have got 2 or 3 turns out of it, by which point I would have reduced their numbers. And then yeah, a buffed up unit of Demonettes would have gone through them like a hot knife through butter. It was disappointing the steam tank didn't die sooner. I really needed an Occam's off on there, and I didn't quite get the magic phase I want. Ollie was quite tactical in his dispelling, and yeah, sort of played a blinder and stopped me from getting it. And in the end, I managed to get the withering. If I thought about it, what I should have done, because I was trying to get Occam's off on these guys, on the Demonettes, I should have cut my losses and thought, right, well, I need the steam tank gone, because the plan was to do basically what I did last game, which was to use the bloodletters to soften up the great swords, because they're stubborn, they're not going to go anywhere, like Ollie said. So basically, I wanted to try and kill the warrior priest, get the unit down to about half strength, blend these guys. Would have gone into I could have charged, killed, gone into those because they were sitting behind. Would have chopped them up as well in pretty short order, and then reformed, and then I would have been chasing him down. Fortunately, the cannons didn't particularly do much. A little bit unlucky. I think if I'd managed to put a few more wounds on that steam tank, I only managed to do 2 wounds before it got into combat. But I couldn't really avoid combat, unfortunately, without playing some. Okay, sorry about that. That was a slight power cut. My ranting has obviously drained the battery. But yeah, in short, I think it was a couple of good spells by Ollie, a few tactical misdecisions by me, some clever play on Ollie's part, which led him to victory. I think if I'd played it a little more sensibly, made the dispels when I should have done, I think I could probably have turned the battle and basically done what I did against the Orcs, which would have been use the bloodletters to turn them down to half strength, use the Demonettes to rip through them, along with use the Demonettes and the Blood Crushers to rip through them in short order, finish off the Knights, then turn around and then hunt the rest of his army down. My general, fully buffed, would have run through that. Would have run through that bloody guy, no problem. I mean, he had cleaving blow, so those 3 wounds that he failed to save would have actually been doubled. Yeah, I would have managed to get through that, I think, relatively easily. So yeah, good game, good win for Ollie, well deserved. I was funny in that I predicted last week that I'd probably end up beating his orcs and then never winning to Empire. So looks like we're going on with that. So I might make a few little changes to this list now. I quite like the list. I might also explore the Nurgle side of things as well, because I hear Epidemius tally lists are all the rage as well. So might look into that. So yeah, we will see you next week for the next game.